Today we'll take a look at a very useful method that is semi-widely used, but there are some people that still don't know about it and re-implement the same, well, functionality that is in it. So today we'll take a look at the join array method. What does it do? Well, it's very simple. If we have, for example, here an array of strings and we want to concatenate them all together, well, usually what every programmer that doesn't know about this method is going to do is just going to go, okay, for every single element of the array, just concatenate them using a space in between, right? So just a for loop. But join does that automatically. If you have here join and you pass in a separator, like for example, I can pass in a space, just a simple space, and actually console log this so that we can see. So if I run this, you'll notice that we get actually a string on the screen, not just an array, because if we were to just print the array, we would get actual separators, as you can see, like this. This is how it would look if it was just an array. So array.join, it returns a string and it concatenates every single string with it. Now the interesting part is that it also converts elements to strings if they can be converted. So for example, if I have, let's say, the element 5 in here and run this again, you'll notice I get the element 5 inside the string without any issues. It's just, you might have to take into consideration formatting mistakes when you're dealing with, for example, floating numbers, right? Another interesting feature with the join array method is that if you only have just one single element inside your array, well, what do you think it is going to happen? Well, the cool thing is we only get the actual word printed on the screen. We don't get anything more. We don't get an extra space before or after, as you might have seen in certain algorithm implementations of this, right? So to prove this, actually, we're gonna have to type in the length of this string. So I'm gonna just say .length, and we should get, well, guess what? 5. And we do. That means that there's no space after the word today, which is, that's what is desirable when you're doing joins like this. Let's take a look at a more practical example. So for example, here I have an array of objects, and every single object has a name here. And what we want to do is to have every single name inside a string and separated by a comma and a space, right? So we want something like this, just test, comma, space, test2, comma, space, test3. So you can, I don't know, print it on some sort of UI or GUI component so somebody can see it properly with a comma separated really nicely, right? How can we do this? It's very simple. So how can we use the join method in this case? Well, first things first, we have to actually get the names inside the array, right? Because the join method takes in an array of strings, basically, or an array of elements that is then converted to strings. If we just say, let's say result, right, equals array.join, and we put in the separator. What's the separator gonna be? Well, the separator is gonna be comma and space. And if we just console log this result, you'll notice we just get object because every single element inside here is an object, right? So that's not desirable. We want the name inside that array. So what do we need to do? We first need to map every single object to its name. So we're gonna have here our object, and we know that each object has a name and an age, and we're gonna take the name of it and just return it as is, and then join it with the comma and space. And now if you try to run this, you'll notice I get test, test2, and test3, and this works really nicely even if you have, for example, just one element, right? If you have just one element, you'll notice I just get test, no comma after, no nothing. So join is a very useful method that you should definitely know about. I hope you got something out of this video. If you have any questions, do leave them down in the comments below or on our Discord server. Thank you guys so much for watching, and well, see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.